going to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Friday, July 1st, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and... In his book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel goes into detail about why using past performances is a poor tool for making future predictions in the world of finance. But here's the thing, in the bodybuilding world, 9 times out of 10, using past performance as a predictor of future success is actually a fantastic tool, especially for someone who's been as consistent as Terrence Ruffin. According to reports, Terrence's weight is starting to creep up closer to the 200-pound mark, which is close to the heaviest that he's ever been at any point in his career. Another interesting thing to note here is that Terrence has become known for staying relatively lean and using shorter preps as a way of creating leverage heading into his shows. So if he sticks with that strategy for his Olympia prep, people should try to read between the lines, because it means that we're about to see the biggest and possibly the best version of Terrence yet. And well, that should be a scary thought. And that should be a scary thought for all the other guys at the top of the division. Did you know that when 2 stars slowly collide into each other, it creates something that scientists call a blue straggler? It sounds made up, but I swear it's real. Google it. And then let me know in the comment section whether or not you think the blue straggler should be the name of the first product of Hunter Labrada and Nick Walker's if they ever decide to go into business together. Earlier this week, we saw the photos of these two floating around after they linked up to get in a few training sessions together, as they both prepare to transition into the next phase of their Olympia preps. Pound for pound, right now, these two are both literally and figuratively 2 of the biggest names in the bodybuilding world. And seeing this sort of unity, as opposed to all the back and forth keyboard nonsense that we tend to see now, well, is there kind of refreshing in a sense. Because, like we've said 1,000 times before, the rising tide lifts all boats, and we all know that these two definitely know how to make some waves. At this point, we're less than 24 hours away from the Orlando Pro, where most people are predicting that we'll see Hassan Mustafa score his 2nd win of the season. But as we've seen over and over again this year, there are no sure things in bodybuilding, because there's always a chance that a dark horse contender like Tonio Burton can slip in and steal the thunder. Tonio managed to crack the top 5 at the IFBB Cal Pro a few weeks ago, which was only his 2nd show in the open division. And if anything, his conditioning has only gotten better since then, which makes him even more of a threat to give Hassan a run for his money. If there's one thing we know to be universally true in bodybuilding, it's that conditioning wins shows. I say it all the time. So if he comes in and outpaces Hassan in the conditioning department, at the very least he gives himself a puncher's chance, and sometimes that's all it takes to win a show. And since we're already talking about guys who may have a puncher's chance at the IFBB Orlando, this felt like the perfect time to transition into this brand new update from Jason Lowe, who's less than 24 hours away now from making his debut in the Open. Jason is similar to Tonio Burton in the sense that he's also a former 212 Olympian who had to kill himself for years trying to make weight for the division. Actually, Jason was a classic guy before that. So now that he's finally growing into a show and giving his body a chance to be in a more natural state, you'd imagine that he'd be heading into this weekend ready to hit the ground running. For the better part of the last few seasons, he's shown over and over again that he has what it takes to stand toe-to-toe and trade shots with some of the biggest elite names in the business. So if Lowe 2.0 is going to be a bigger, better version, then he shouldn't have any problem finding his footing this weekend. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.